Hey everyone, it's Larry Bailey, Amy Blum, and we thought we'd do this ad hoc kind of um, video to talk about going to the Ice Mortgage Technology Experience 2025 because it's happening in Las Vegas. And Amy, how many years have you been to it actually? Can you think about the first time you went to, you know,
The first time I went was in Florida,
oh,
actually,
you went
on
you went to the
Disney.
Walt Disney World one?
Yes, where we stayed at it was
Oh,
at the Dolphin and the Swan, and
Just a
yeah.
really sad, it's a really sad story, but it's also really happy, but it's very meaningful. The one in Disney was actually the one I went to, I was a client. I think I was working for American Financial Resources at the time. And that was the last time I saw my grandmother because
Oh,
she's in Tampa and I drove and she was in an assisted living home and I drove and I left the conference to go drive over there because I'm like, I'm here in Florida, I might as well go see her. And it was the last time I actually saw her. So thanks for that memory. That was good.
well,
It
it was
was
good. Yeah, it was good you got
yeah,
to see her. That was
it was really cool. So that's what
so.
made
I've
me think
I've
about it.
been to probably 8 of the last 10, probably. COVID
That's a
year
good
that didn't
record.
happen, and then one year I think early on I didn't. It
So
wasn't in the budget.
So as somebody who spent, so you spent like 25 grand ish, maybe 30, who knows, over the years going to these conferences. I can tell you as an exhibitor, I'm going to spend that 1 year, right? I'm going to spend that as an exhibitor in 1 year. And the concept for me as an exhibitor is, well, I'm spending that to hopefully get one new contract, one new client, kind of a thing. So there's a different kind of an exchange of money. When you're an attendee, which I was for many, many years, I like to think I was there at the first one, and I forget where these things were. We used to do them at the end of the year, and then that ran into conflict with mortgage bankers conferences all the time. So then they flipped it to March or February in some cases. And as an attendee, I've been to a fair amount of them. I don't remember how many, but what would you say is the number one thing? Like, if you had to think about like the number one reason why you went to the conference as far as value, what would you say to somebody who either hasn't been to one yet or is getting pushback from their leadership on should they invest in it?
Well, when I first started, it was learning. I was a new admin to Encompass.
Mm.
I didn't feel like I was the only admin we had. I There wasn't a lot of user groups out there at the time, and so I felt like I was on an island, and I felt like I had nobody to connect with, nobody that I could ask except for ICE customer service. So to me, I wanted to go and I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn more about business rules. I wanted to learn about all the different things that I wasn't using, and I wanted to learn all of that. So that was probably the number one reason why I started to go. And actually, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I continue to go because I've been an admin for 11 years now. And I will tell you that every year I learn a ton. I come away and come home with pages filled with notes and almost like a renewed, you know, I feel like I'm ready to tackle things again and I'm ready to get in there and do these new things that I'm not doing maybe and stuff. And so I kind of have this, I'm ready to go when I get back. So
Yeah, I was looking around while you were talking about that. I was looking for my ice books, and I don't know, they're buried on my desk somewhere. And that's one of my biggest challenges is you take so many handwritten notes because you are kind of hustling. And so the years that you went, were you by yourself or did you go with somebody?
I was by myself probably the first year I went with somebody, and then I was by myself probably 4 or 5 years.
I've I
And then yeah, now I've been going with people.
so I found when you're by yourself, it's first of all you're torn, right? Because do you go to the classes or the breakout sessions or do you go to the exhibit floor? Like where do you go? Because there's only so much time in the day. And so have you seen a bigger, like if you went with somebody else, at least one other person where you could kind of split that, do you find that
Mhm.
that turns out better for you?
Yes, I do because it's easy to. There's a lot of classes that, of course, it's always the three classes I want are always at the same
Right.
time. And so what's nice is that when we like Katie, my coworker, and I go, she's another Encompass admin, and we split up a lot of the stuff. Maybe I'll do a compliance one, she'll do an admin one, or
Mm.
we'll kind of split depending on what the interests are and what they have at the time. But there's almost always more than one class because there's so many things that you're learning, or there's so many new things right now with web and with everything that's going on. With that, there's a lot of new things. and you can't attend all the classes because a lot of them will be will be at the same time. And so when Katie and I go, we can split it up, which is nice. And we have servicing too, but that's another. So we have servicing people that go now.
You need like 25 people to go to learn. Yeah, and it's funny because in the past, the ice shows were really about and the Encompass shows were really about um, industry topics. Like they were almost general. And over the last couple of years, it's been actually more not training, but really focused in on how do you do this thing in Encompass or concepts that you should be thinking about how Encompass is best run, which I think is nice. I think it's a good shift. It's been subtle, but it's been if you go back like 3 or 4 years ago, to me it's an obvious change.
Oh, I would agree. It got a little salesy for a year or two, and then they really now have made a focus on getting back on track with learning, and that's just really important because of they have the classes though that are tailored towards people who are brand new admins, and then people like me who have been there 11 years too. So there's some advanced classes that you can take, and there's some beginning and intermediate. So they do a good job usually of getting a good variety of the levels of classes and everything. But I've taken some beginning classes on like enhanced conditions. We don't have that yet. I'm signed up for an enhanced conditions class because I need to learn some more about it. So
It's good to even hear the perspective of somebody else, right? I mean, it's not like you haven't heard about Enhance. You maybe even read it, maybe even tried it, but it's also, the folks that are going to be there presenting are going to have firsthand knowledge. They're going to be product owners from ICE. There's going to be other clients that are leveraging enhanced conditions as an example. And really, I think that's what I find is one of the most helpful parts of Encompass or ICE experience is seeing other people firsthand, face to face, who talk about things that they've done. It's not like things that they're thinking about doing, it's things they're actually running their business on. I think that's for me, that was always the most powerful because talk is cheap.
yeah.
Like anybody can talk about things, but if you're using it in your business, I want to find out more.
Well, the beauty of the class is, let's say you go and you go to an enhanced condition class. You've got people there at all different levels. You've got people who are like me who are just starting with enhanced conditions, but you've got people who have been on it and are going because they have questions for the panel. So you hear a lot of questions and you hear a lot of people in the peers and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, before I even start, I already know maybe some of the things that I need to do to make it better because I'm listening to these other people. So the feedback that you gain, so you may be able to get access to slide decks or different things on these classes, but what you get when you're there and you're listening to all your peers and you're listening to the questions and the answers, that to me is invaluable because that's the part of it that is really important to me because that's where you gain a lot of your functional knowledge too.
Okay, so so before we run out of time here, before everybody stops listening to us go on and on about how much we love going, what would you say? So I'm the manager who's not letting you go because it's Las Vegas, right? I mean, it's obviously
Right.
all you're going to do is party. You're not going to go to these things. What do you say to me?
Well, I guess I'm going to turn this around just a little bit, your question, and I'm going to say,
Like it.
my managers are actually good and they let me go. I want to say, I know a lot of Encompass admins, they won't budget it, they won't let me go. I want to talk to those managers. I want to tell you that the things that you learn that your employee will come back with and will learn from that is so important. As an admin, when you feel like you're on an island and you feel like am I doing things right? Am I, some of those things you're doing the best you can to learn. You get such a good knowledge of learning. You can tailor things to the things that you need to learn more about. But the biggest thing too is the networking. Every time I go, I find other banks that are similar to what our setup is. We're correspondent lending. We have TPO. So I find other people like that. And then you have all these people that you network with now. I've had people that I've been in contact with for 9 years now that, I can reach out to them and we can talk to them and ask them questions and you just bounce things off of them because we're not necessarily competitors or anything. We're not in the same market, but we're peers because we're all Encompass admins and we really are just trying to work out solutions together. So the networking is a major, major benefit. But everything that you will learn every time you go and take the classes, I mean, I've been to conferences where you go and you're like, oh, half the day I'm going to spend at Disney World and the other half I'm going to. No, this one, you're up, 7 in the
It's a
morning, you're at
hustle.
breakfast, and you are back in your room at 10 o'clock. I mean, it is literally all day, every day. And so it is, you're exhausted by the time you get back because between the networking events and the vendors that you're visiting and all the classes you're taking, it is literally all day from 7 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And which is great. That's what I go for. So.
Well, that's another reason why going by yourself is certainly okay. If you can find somebody else to go with to split the load is even better. Yeah, it's cool. Okay. I would say from my end, if I encountered that, the other part that I think is important, if I hear somebody's getting a pushback on going or the investment for it, that kind of a thing, I always go back and say, listen, if we're not really doing everything that we can to make sure that we're getting ahead of the curve, especially between now and the end of 25, which is when obviously we're going to be seeing more and more advancements with Encompass Swift, those kinds of things. It's really, what are we doing? And again, that's my tact. I know I'm not the average person. I take things a little bit differently. But the $3,000, again, I think it's $3,000 if you include everything, unless you eat really heavy. You don't need a car. You go to the airport, you take an Uber to the hotel. You never leave the hotel. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, you literally, you show up at the hotel, ICE feeds you all day, free drinks, whatever, for at the end of the night, and you pass out. And you wake up the next morning, you do it again for another 12, 13, 14 hours. So it's and then you take the Uber back to the airport and you leave. So it's
And then the Monday classes, we talked, when you're talking about that cost and stuff too, the Monday classes are additional on there, but that's probably where I learn more because you've got 4-hour classes, or this year they've kind of split it. I think some of the afternoon ones are like an hour and a half each or 2 hours each. But those are the ones that you really get in depth into things and you're learning really how to actually do everything. I mean, and you have a laptop and they provide a laptop for you there and you do everything. So it's great.
Please check it out. Okay. So our votes are definitely go.
Yep.
Definitely go find out. Early bird specials right now. If you're a partner or you're a client of Mortgage Workflow Partners, you get a discount code. Quite honestly, unless you're completely independent, you're not using any services from any vendors that are not connected to ICE Mortgage Technology, somebody's got a discount code for you. Ask them for a discount code. They'll be glad to give it to you because ICE is promoting it and they're giving out rewards. MI companies have discount codes. Vendors have discount codes. Somebody's got a discount code for you. Go get it.
Yep.
And Amy, I'll see you there at the very least, right? When you're getting there, we're getting there a week ahead of time. Is that our plan? We're going to get there a week ahead of time, and is that what we're doing?
That's it. That's the plan.
All right.
Thanks, Larry.
We'll see you there. Thanks, Amy, for doing this, and we'll see everybody there, I hope. Take care.